Gunslinger Gulch. Not much history seems to exist about the ghost town and guest ranch. It's nestled in the mountains on the outskirts of Anaconda, Montana. It rose to some level of fame in the winter of 2022 when it was featured on the Travel Channel series The Ghost Town Terror. A 52-acre property, the ranch features multiple old buildings. At least some are reportedly saved and transported from other locations across the state. A longtime Anaconda resident, according to one Montana author and historian, says the former owner, though, built many of them on site. Even if this is true, the reports of paranormal activity aren't numerous in the Gulch. And this region of the Treasure State is filled with a tragic history and, as a result, many hauntings. So, on a warm summer afternoon, which appropriately transformed into a stormy night, I visited to see just what I could find. And I ended up leaving with more evidence of the unexplained than I expected. So Karen Broussard owns the ranch. She moved onto the property with her 3 kids, and we'll start off hearing a little bit from her. And I do want to point out that an error with transferring video from my camera to my computer is driving me nuts. But I do still want to share some of that video that we recorded. So I went and connected the video camera to my old VHS TV combo unit and then recorded the screen. It cuts down on quality, and I apologize for that, but I think some of the footage is worth having in there. So here's Karen.
How many of you saw the Ghost Town Terror Show? Quite a few of you. Okay. So,
do you want me to say it?
So they very much Hollywooded that up. They brought in Tim Woods, who was a demon hunter. So what do you think Tim Woods is looking for?
Demons.
Demons, correct. So that's what they went with. We don't have demons. It's not as bad and dangerous as they made it sound. Do we have dark? Yes, we have dark. You know, I always tell everybody, if you think you saw something or you think you heard something, then the answer is yes, you probably did. But also to pay attention to not just what you can physically see and what is around you, but how are you feeling? If you start feeling lightheaded, if you start feeling nauseous, if you start feeling really anxious, step aside. Get some fresh air, because it will definitely affect you physically and emotionally. I don't know who causes it or why it happens to certain people, but it does. So if you suddenly start crying, don't think you're completely losing your mind. There's a reason for that.
Now, if you've seen past videos, either here or elsewhere, you've probably seen a spirit box being used. It's basically a radio. Mine, I went in and cut out the antenna. That's just an extra step that I decided to take, but it quickly cycles through various channels, with the theory being that spirits can then use the created white noise to communicate, to come through. Well, the Necrophonic App is becoming more and more popular now. It's for your phone, and it runs on the same principle. Now, it has a word bank as well, but it's creating digital white noise. And we don't need to dive into the hows and the what fors of the electronics of it, but it does seem to be working, and people are getting good results off of the Necrophonic app. Now, this is the first investigation where I used that app extensively, and we got some cool results. Now, just like the spirit box, there's going to be background garble. In this case, it's a little bit more electronic. You have to ignore that. But you find the stuff that seems to fit, the stuff that seems to actually answer intelligently a question. Now, there's part of this session with this video here with no night vision. This is exactly what we were seeing at the time.
How many people are in here? 2, 3.
Now, there is a red light on my digital recorder, and at this time, there are 2 women and 3 men in the room.
How many people are in here? 2, 3.
Now, these from later in the session, interesting. They're quiet, at least they start quiet. They get louder. They repeat the same word, it sounds like anyway. We get killer, louder killer, even louder killer, and then it says 3 times. Well, it did say the word 3 times, so interesting.
So on a different device, we got prison, or what was it, 90 years?
Felon.
90
Felon.
years, felon.
Yeah. Is that a spirit we're talking to?
Now, often when spirits are in a space, it seems to have an impact on the temperature. Typically, that temperature gets colder. The theory being that if spirits are made of some kind of energy, they can then use some of the energy in the environment around them, and then as a result makes things just a little bit colder. On this particular night, as I said in the front end, it was hot. Even once the rainstorm moved in, it was hot out, but we were getting cold spots. Now, several times throughout the night, we were getting indicators going off on our electronic equipment saying that, hey, it's getting cold around here. But it wasn't just the electronics. There were moments where we were also feeling cold. Check this out.
Are you guys still feeling cold over there?
Mm-hmm. Are you trying to make us cold?
I am. Now, with the necrophonic and spirit box, anytime there are multiple words in the same voice, it tends to lead credence to the idea that could be something communicating. And this something sounds a little bit creepy.
Are you trying to make us cold?
All right, this one I love. There are actually a ton of seemingly intelligent necrophonic answers, but it's what's happening underneath us talking. You can hear, it sounds like footsteps. We are in this little wooden cabin, and it sounds like small, childlike running footsteps on the wooden floorboards. We didn't hear these at the time. It was only on my digital recorder.
Are you trying to tell the ladies something? Leave? Is that what it said?
No.
No. Can you tell us what?
Now you can see us sitting in this log cabin right here. I'm looking at an old fireplace, and I'm sitting right in the middle of the 2 rooms in the cabin. Off to my right, everybody else. You can see a person right there sitting in a chair. There's somebody next to them, and then Brandon, I believe, sitting right next to me. We are all sitting in a little circle in chairs, not moving. We're all just sitting there. We've got the necrophonic running, trying to see if we get any responses on that. And we've got another light there on the top of the fireplace. Nobody's moving.
Are you trying to tell the ladies something? Leave? Is that what it said?
No.
No. Can you tell us what?
All right, now on this next one, if you pay attention, you can tell it doesn't sound quite the same as the electronic voice coming out of the Necrophonic. It's an electronic tool, right? This, like the phantom footsteps that none of us were making, is an EVP, something that we didn't hear at the time, but was somehow left imprinted in the digital audio file. It sounds like a name, and it's a name we actually received multiple times, or at least variations of that name, throughout the night.
I keep on feeling Ian coming through.
Shivers?
Shivers.
Is that what he said?
Yep.
Shivers?
Shivers.
Is that what he said?
Yep.
Okay, so this next bit is going to go down in my personal top 10. It's pretty wild. So what we'll do first, we'll check out the video clip sort of explaining what happened. It explains after the fact. And then I'm going to come back and play the audio from my digital recorder, which was set on a window just behind me and to my left. So nobody's touching it. It's static. So first the video, the aftermath, and then we'll play the digital audio of what happened real time. So y'all, this door, we're in the jail building, and we were just sitting here doing a group thing, and nothing pointed at this door. I was sitting right here, and this door opened. It was latched, and I'll show you. I mean, I'm pulling on it, nothing's happening, right? This is a strong door, and I heard two noises. There was an initial noise. It was the doorknob turned, and then the door opened, and I'll show you. Hear that? So the doorknob turned, and I turned thinking somebody else was walking in, and it did that. I can't explain that, guys. And I'm so bummed out we didn't have any video pointed at this door. I'm hoping it picked up on audio, but it opened that far. It was wild. It's a heavy door.
It honestly sounds like when we were doing the necrophonics in the saloon. That's when you can hear the words coming out through the headphones.
Door open?
Okay, so the door opened.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
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 And it was very deliberate too.
Are you leaving?
Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Did you hear the doorknob? I heard the doorknob.
Yeah.
I thought someone was coming in.
I did too.
The saloon. That's when you can hear the words coming out through the headphones.
Door open?
Okay, so the door opened.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
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 And it was very...
Now remember, I'm sitting right there. When I turned, I could see outside, and nobody was there. And there's wooden boards and steps and stuff outside of all these buildings. You would have heard, if it was somebody that turned and opened the door, you would have heard them moving away, no matter how quiet they were trying to be. There's nobody out there. Now remember, I played the video. Once I left that jail, I closed the door and I latched it. You could hear me latch it on the video. Well, Brandon went back. After we all left, he realized he left a piece of equipment in there. He went back, and guess what? The door was open. He asked me, he says, "You closed that door, right?" I said, "Yeah." And luckily we had the video evidence to show that, and you could hear it latch. It swung wide open. There was nobody else that had gone in there. I don't know. But that wasn't all that happened in the jail. That would have been enough. Just having that door swing open would have been pretty impressive. But throughout our session in that jail building, we kept hearing disembodied voices. Now, we've talked about EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, stuff that is recorded on either a video camera or an actual handheld digital recorder, whatever it is. There's sound that's recorded on there that you didn't hear at the time, that nobody heard at the time. Usually it's some kind of whisper or, things like that. The footsteps. Disembodied voices, though, that's different. That's in the moment, you heard something and there's nobody there. There's no person behind that voice. And I've experienced it a time or two. Nothing like what happened in that jail cell. This was pretty extraordinary. Check it out.
Is there anyone walking?
No.
There's walking.
I'm gonna see if there's someone outside. That's me walking.
You hear that?
That was a fly over here.
Oh.
There's no one walking. I just heard a laugh though.
There was a laugh. Are you laughing at us?
Because you made me look outside.
We got red.
Oh, they got red over there. There's no one walking. I just heard a laugh though.
There was a laugh. Are you laughing at us?
Because you made me look outside.
We got red.
Oh, they got red over there. Thank you.
Think of something else.
Someone just whisper
Which direction?
over by you guys.
Not over here. There
There was another one.
Think of something else.
Someone just whisper.
That's me walking.
Fly.
Is that someone's stomach?
Yeah,
Was that your stomach?
it wasn't me.
No.
It sounded farther over here.
It sounded like a woo.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys hear that in there?
Yeah.
No.
It was over in their direction, so.
There's footsteps again.
wasn't me. You?
Did someone
Did
say
you hear that?
something?
Oh, that was me kind of breathing.
No, it
It
was.
was like a female.
Oh, that wasn't.
It was like, hey.
We're lighting up over here.
She's lighting up over.
Get on the floor. I'm gonna go to sleep.
We're lighting up over here.
She's lighting up over.
Get on the floor. I'm gonna go to sleep.
I'm gonna go ahead and say my name, and then so you know who you're talking to. I'm Brandon. Did it say someone wants to know?
What it said? I'm Troy.
I'm Tyler.
I'm Lindsay.
I'm gonna go ahead and say my name, and then so you know who you're talking to. I'm Brandon. Did it say someone wants to know? What is that? I'm Troy. I'm Tyler. I'm Troy.
What can you show us?
I could see it.
What can you show us?
I could see it.
Here.
all said our names, could you say your name now so we know who we're talking to?
So can you?
I'm Troy.
I'm Tyler.
Bill or Phil or something?
Yeah.
How many people are sitting on the bed in this room?
Did it say a number?
No.
How many people are sitting on the bed in this room?
How many people are sitting on the bed in this room?
Keeps on saying that. I keep on thinking it says 3. So is there a spirit sitting on the bed too?
Every one.
Is there one spirit?
2 on.
Getting weird shivers. And I've been hot all night, but I'm getting a weird, like, just a tingle.
This is about what time everything starts heating up though. It's weird.
Okay, now, I've been touched one time at the old Montana prison. I was touched on my head right up here wearing a hat, so I knew nothing, spiderwebby or anything could have touched it. But there is a spiderwebby tingly feeling when you're touched. And suddenly here I start to get that same sensation on my left arm. Starts at my hand, works all the way up my arm, and then it starts to just wash over me. Then it's full body. I'm tingling. I say later, I think in this video that you're going to see, it feels like ants marching. It's a super weird, it's not a shiver. It's a super weird feeling, and I had it all over. And then for a little bit, I actually get lightheaded. And then, well, when watching back the video, there were several minutes in here that I didn't remember living. I kind of had some lost time there, which is a little bit disturbing. At some point, I even start just recording the floor. As I start talking about starting to feel that tingling sensation, by the way, check out what my audio recorder, this was sitting behind me to my right, actually on a shelf. Check out what this caught. There's 2 words that were their EVPs. We didn't hear them at the time. And then that's followed by 3 more words. We were using the Necrophonic app at the time. So we've got 2 EVP words that nobody heard, and then 3 words just a beat right after that on the Necrophonic that we did hear. And they're either 2 different things completing one sentence, or you could take them as separate short sentences saying the same thing. It's dual evidence confirming what I was feeling at the time. It's crazy. This is crazy, guys. 2 different pieces of equipment, 2 different pieces of evidence at the same time proving the same thing.
Does it say I'm touching you?
I think so.
Does it say I'm touching you?
I think so.
Here, let me.
It's coming in waves, but it's persistent, and it's head to toe.
So what you can do with that?
My beard is tingling right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's weird.
So what?
I don't know if there's any reading over here, but it's...
Yeah. different though.
So are you just in the US
Am I?
visiting?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
feels weird.
Oh,
Have you done those
I'm getting the chills.
paranormal
See, look at my arms.
Spider in New Zealand?
Look at the hair on my arms.
Australia. No, Australia, New Zealand, nothing for you. Australia, basically everything that breathes.
But your breath definitely started when you said you were getting your breathing started going deeper and faster.
Yeah, because I'm pulling in a little.
I can hear it affecting you. That's mine going off because of this.
So obviously whoever's in here is not a fan of the green pots.
But each spirit's different too. Some like talking through the dowsing rods, some like talking through the K2 meters, some like talking through the REM pods.
It is super quiet in here.
Honestly, yeah, like I say, it's a little uncomfortable when I sat and reviewed the evidence and watched that, not remembering that happening. To have some kind of, like I said, almost lost time, it's not necessarily something I want to experience again, but it is, a little bit of a remarkable piece of evidence, at least personally, as a piece of personal experience. It's pretty impressive. I really wasn't sure what to expect from Gunslinger Gulch. I had very intentionally set my expectation bar low. I didn't want to be disappointed. I didn't know what I would get there. You go to places that have a history of haunting, and you sort of know what you're going to see there. This is relatively new, and so I just didn't know. And, Gunslinger Gulch is haunted. The place delivered. It was crazy, and we weren't even there all night, guys. Most of these other investigations that I've been on have been sundown to sun up. We left about 2 o'clock in the morning. So the amount of evidence that I recorded in such a short amount of time, it's crazy. And I don't know the who's there, the why they're there. There's a lot of questions that are to be answered, though. We got Bill and Billy a few times. I think there's a Bill there. I don't know the answers, but there's something unexplained happening at Gunslinger Gulch on the outskirts of Anaconda. I didn't need to Hollywood up anything. It's just there. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us for this one. I really appreciate it, and look forward to our next investigation. I think my kid coming along with me for this next one. So we'll see you then.